The Paladin set has been found by Pedder. It's the one that's been advertised heavily by Ubisoft for the Siege of Paris DLC, and we finally got a good look at what it's all about, including a new bear mount, raven skin, and tattoos. I've also got some great dual-wielding one-handed sword gameplay to show you, including the Joyeuse one-handed weapon and the Durendal one-handed sword as well. But that being said, this armor set isn't out yet, and it is all subject to change because it has been found in the game files, but it's looking pretty good and in line with what we've seen so far. So great work again, Pedder, mate. Thanks very much for sharing it with all of us, and let's get stuck in. So first up, the mount, and it's another bear mount, definitely on the trend right now. This time though, we have actually picked up a standard looking brown bear, which I actually think is my new favourite out of all of the three bears that we've just picked up for simplicity's sake. And this actually lines up quite nicely with the thumbnail picture Pedder found in the game files a few weeks back. So it looks like we've got our three new bear mounts identified for Paris. This one, the runic bear, and the polar bear, and two of those three are actually certainly arriving in the Helix store, but at least we get one for free, right? And we're also going to be picking up this quite nice golden raven skin called the Rebel Raven, and I think it actually complements this set quite nicely, to be honest with you. Good colour schemes and definitely good for pictures if you like spending your time in that photo mode, and thankfully we're not going to have to wait for this to pop in redder. You will be able to pick it up in Paris, it seems. Now before we do dive into all of the stats of the Paladin gear, let's have a look at the weapons, and I just have to show you this Joyeuse one-handed weapon first that Pedder has somehow managed to find. This is the legendary weapon of Charlemagne, which we've actually talked about extensively in previous videos. It actually exists and it is currently in the Louvre in Paris, and you actually may recognise it as it is the sword that's also being pushed quite heavily by Ubisoft in all of the kind of advertisements and marketing in the lead up to the Siege of Paris. It's got that lovely multicoloured shimmer, and I think that's probably to highlight its prestige and uniqueness comparatively to the other swords. And I've got to be honest with you folks, I'm actually not overly impressed with the actual weapon bonus. It states that the weapon does become poisoned when we manage to pull off 5 successful hits, and the duration only lasts 5 seconds. And perhaps I am a little bit biased here because I don't usually run with any sort of poison or fire builds myself. I actually quite like to smash that light attack maneuver button like a noob. But what do you actually think, folks? Am I a bit off piece here? Is this actually good? Let me know down below in the comments. And of course, Pedder is just too good to us because he's also found us another very famous one-handed sword here, and that is the Durendal, which is the famed sword of Roland, Charlemagne's champion, which we've also spoken about extensively over the last couple of months. And this sword is right up my street. First up, it actually looks like a very authentic one-handed sword, which I'm a fan of, and I'm picking up serious Narsil vibes here, which by the way is the sword owned by Isildur and Aragorn in Lord of the Rings. I think it looks badass. Not only that, the stats I think are absolutely delightful. We pick up an increase in crit chance when at 80% health or higher, and I quite like playing at full health, to be honest, smashing that ration button. And we also pick up a 20 crit chance bonus just for equipping it, which I think is excellent. I think this type of weapon would really complement an armor set such as the Mentor's robes, and it's something that I'm going to be gunning for as soon as possible. I also think that the two-handed sword gameplay here also looks great. I personally like running with the dual dagger build, so it kind of feels like a little bit of an upgrade, and I'm a big fan. But what do you reckon? Are you liking what you see so far? Let me know down below. And by the way, if you've actually got any value out of the video so far, learned anything new at all, then a like on the video would be very kind and very helpful, so thanks very much. Now let's take a look at some of the armor stats on the Paladin set, and essentially all melee attacks while wearing this set is going to increase your stamina consumption, but the caveat being that even though you lose stamina quicker, you hit harder for more damage. So that is a 5% increase in stamina consumption for a plus 50 melee damage bonus. Now moving on to perk 2, and that's a buff to our adrenaline charge by 70%, which is pretty big actually, and that's combined with a minus 5% stamina consumption. So running with this full set knocks off that increase in stamina penalty, leaving you with a full 50 melee damage bonus and a 70% adrenaline charge increase, which, and of course, correct me if I'm reading this incorrectly, I think is pretty damn good. Now I know we've seen quite a bit of this set in official videos, but seeing it close up is really nice. I'm a fan of this set for sure. I think it's very authentic for the time period. I like how it's called Paladin's Chainmail, and the stats seem robust, and I think I'm going to have a good time giving this set a whirl as soon as we arrive on the shores of Francia. We're also picking up some Paladin tattoos, and I think these are likely to be picked up in some sort of in-game activity like the treasure hoard maps, for example. But as far as tattoos go, I think these are quite nice, to be fair. The Joyeuse tattoo on the back is particularly good in my opinion, as well as that kind of crown inscription on the top of the forehead. I think that's pretty slick as well. And it doesn't stop there, folks, because Pedder has found more for us, including loads of new weapons, hybrid runes, which I'm also going to be explaining about in a different video, and we've also got that Reaper set to get our teeth into. So if you do want to be the first to know when that drops, it may be worth clicking the notification bell so you can find your way back here easily. And that's it. That's another no-nonsense punchy breakdown from me there, so I hope you enjoyed it. And of course, big thanks to Pedder. These videos just aren't possible without him, so thanks again from all of us, mate. And I think you've got quite a lot of people waiting for coffee, by the way, so we need to get you a barista apron, I think. In any case, I'll catch you guys in the next video.